James, thanks for asking me to comment on Central Division. I would say you're perceived as a highly energised team, very disciplined, that you've got a big clean-up operation that you've got to put in place, and that there are particular hot spots on the division that merit much more attention and focus than others. I would say the caveat always with high discipline and ensuring that the foundations are set in a way that's consistent is that after a number of months and years, sometimes people can feel that that stifles their creativity or their ability to operate with flair, if you like. So I guess that would be my watch out. Make sure that you still have the opportunity to allow people to grow and flourish in their own way within the parameters that you set. So great job, and I hope you really enjoy your team day.
So I suppose first impression for me of the Central Division is great teamwork together from the guys. I think before I joined the division I never really heard the phrase high support and high challenge and high support, but I guess I'm really understanding what that means now. I think all the guys have a good relationship in terms of the RMs with Matthew and the rest of the team, and able to work together, challenge each other and be really driven and unrelenting in what they want to achieve.
Okay, great to hear that you're all getting together today to do some work around formations of teams. Real point of opportunity that I'd like to kind of expose you to is, from my point of view, I don't think you're using the resources in the centre to the best of your capacity. I see some great work going on in the divisions, but what I'm not seeing is that you tapping into the potential in the centre to get the centre to do the best they can for you. Doing some of the heavy lifting around some of the leakage activity that you're trying to develop in your region, some of the cash activity. Real opportunity there for you to do more.
Yep, so we're 6 months in after the OD's been launched. I think if you look in particular, the central team's probably more changing it with regards to the individuals coming in than most of the other regions. So it's beginning to bed in now. I think there's been a huge amount of change, but I think we're beginning to see that already in execution at the shop floor and how ready we are to be trading when we're at our busiest. I think the one ask from myself is probably for AMs and RMs probably to get more familiar with the members within the support centre, within my own team, within the standards team, within the change team, and using these guys and girls as a bit of an extension of their own teams to make sure we can maximise the opportunity and execute brilliantly first time. So maybe an ask, I suppose, on myself is to give you visibility of who these individuals are, and I'll probably be doing that over the up and coming leadership events we've got to get cascade down for you. I think then really the ask is on yourself to make use of the resources and the skill sets we've got in the centre to make life easier for yourself and our colleagues within store.
We've done some great training this year with your stores around Tara, some great feedback from the guys, and I'm really pleased that they've took that. And I think what we found is we've absolutely got our heads around productivity, and we're pretty much delivering that on a week-to-week basis in your stores. My ask of you guys is to help us go beyond that number and see the system as a planning tool and help us really kind of understand what a green CSI score is and the impact that has on our customers. The customer should feel green CSI. And if I can help you get to that place, then please give us a shout, and I'm more than happy to.
So for me, there's been a definite emphasis on the customer experience and how we can improve that. I think I've definitely seen an increase in the store standards. And for me, going forward, it's just that consistency around delivering the customer experience day in, day out, and knowing that the KPIs will come on the back of that.
My impression of the Central Division is that they are very driven, very challenging, very uncompromising, high calibre, fast paced. I would say they're quite KPI driven, sometimes too KPI driven, and that sometimes they chase the KPIs in the wrong way. We don't necessarily see, or I don't necessarily see, enough engagement with the centre to understand the right way to chase particular KPIs. There tends to be a tendency to do your own thing, so starting a central initiative rather than getting it pushed out nationally. An example would be no cardboard boxes on the produce fixture. I absolutely agree that it looks better, but it leads to handballing, which isn't the best thing for the product, and it leads to an inconsistency for our customer, so they will see something different if they go into a north store than if they go into a central store. You can be hard to get time with, So when I have tried to get time with people, that's not always been easy, which makes it difficult to build relationships. It often feels like that time is more about your agenda than the person from the centre's agenda. You know, the most valuable thing you can give to us is your time. You know, everyone in the centre gets value out of spending time with you guys because you understand the store, but you're also the guys who can impact the stores and get the things that we're trying to landed. One of the big feedbacks from my team is that when you get feedback from the store, you don't always question it enough. So you take as gospel what the store manager says, and then come back into the centre with that feedback, which starts quite a lot of work in the centre for what sometimes turns out to be one store who was actually at fault themselves. I think sometimes just digging into the detail a little bit more and giving us facts that allow us to drill in from our end to work out when it is our problem, that would be helpful. When we do get time with you, you know, very engaging, but we just don't get enough of that time.
Derek Furnival, the DMD for large stores, has said that the perception of the central team is one of a focused, high-energy team who are pulling up their trousers and proving what is possible. Great perception in the new world, that anything is possible, but you must focus on a high-challenge, high-support culture. An opportunity for the central division is that they have the scope to influence the centre more. At the moment, there is far too much work going through the DMDs. You have a voice, use it. There has been a huge culture shift in the first half, but please bear in mind that as we move forward, we can't take any passengers.
So I really enjoyed working with the central team. I think there's been a noticeable step change in capability, in attitude, in scope. I have a great relationship with Matthew. We spend a lot of time talking together. I think Matthew's team is great. I think in terms of the True North behaviours, there's certainly lots of uncompromising. I think we'll probably tip sometimes to have a little bit more of authentic and engaging, but individually I think all the team are uncompromising, authentic and engaging, but the collective can sometimes veer towards the uncompromising more perhaps than the authentic and engaging. I think in terms of Central has some natural advantages. I think it had the highest CSAT in Northwest, which it's inherited. I think it's got some advantages in terms of proximity to the centre, because a lot of the stores are near Manchester, so you can actually make a difference more with the relationships in the centre. And I think the way that Central, and Matthew in particular, has built relationships around the business is a credit, and it's really an example of how to do things and how to get things done in the cooperative in a collaborative manner. I think if I were to offer one general observation about Central, it would be to paraphrase John F. Kennedy, you know, think not what the business can do for Central, but think what Central can do for the business. And actually you can act as a role model due to your proximity, due to the natural advantages, due to the fact that most of the colleagues in the cooperative will shop in Central stores. I think you have a huge role to play to role model the difference and the transformative change that we need to make this business different and substantiate our difference in the marketplace. We are a cooperative, and Central can lead from the front in doing that and make a real difference to the communities which we serve and the colleagues who work in our stores and depots.
Chris Whitfield has said that Central as a brand is still in a developing stage, but as are all of the other divisions. He says that Matthew and the RMs have done a particularly good job of reaching out to the centre to move things on. This done in a collaborative way helps other functions in the centre to improve what they need to improve, or to understand, as well as engaging other functions on our agenda. Well done.